Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Connection Live. We are so happy that you're here with us today. Welcome to our special festive edition of Coffee Connection Live. My name is Liz. I'm an Army spouse. I'm joining you from our house in Louisiana. I'm a programs manager for the USO, and I'm usually your host for Coffee Connection Live. I'm joined today by Nicole Vogel. Hello, Nicole.
Hello, cheers.
Cheers.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Love it.
I am joining from, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't even talk. It's not even that early right now. I'm joining you guys from Wyoming, and I am an Air Force spouse of 13 years. So Liz and I are thrilled to talk to y'all today.
So for those of you who are joining us for the first time on Coffee Connection Live, this is just as if you're meeting a friend for the first time in a coffee shop, and we're sitting together and we're just having coffee, getting to know each other. Now, lucky for us, Nicole and I have known each other and worked together for several years now. So we're going to be talking about all things MilSpouse in 2021. Nicole, I think it's been about 6 months since we last did a Coffee Connection Live that was just the two of us. So much has happened in that time. Let's talk about what's happened since May. You've been in your house in Wyoming for a year now, right?
Yeah, about a year and a half. And we'll be moving in about 6 months. So anything that I want to redecorate, because I feel like we're always redecorating, right? Like, because we're moving and it's just like, I don't like it this way anymore. But now I'm like, just let it be. It's fine. We'll be moving it in about 6 months anyways to a new location, and that is to be determined where. We don't know. But since May, so much has happened, and I don't know how many of you have joined us in May, but kind of talked about being vulnerable, and I needed to go out and make a network because it had been so long since I kind of put myself out there, made friends, because we work from home. So it was one of those things where I'm like, you know what, you guys, I'm going to go out, and I love playing softball. So I went out and I joined a softball team. I met some friends that I never met, you guys know the drill, that we've never met before, and ended up just having a blast this summer playing softball. And then they asked me to play volleyball. And I'm like, I'm not very good at volleyball, but you know what? I just want to hang out. I want an excuse to get out of the house. And so I've been playing. I don't know if playing is the right word. I've been standing on the volleyball court, getting hit by a ball or watching the ball drop in front of me. But that's kind of what I've been up to since we last spoke in May, trying to be a little bit more vulnerable. But what about you? That backdrop looks a little new from the last time we connected in May.
So new, so different. So we talked on here in May. I probably mentioned we were getting ready to PCS, but not only that, my husband was getting ready to retire from the Army. So he retired, I guess August 1st was his first day as a civilian after 25 years. We moved, we built this home. We're in our forever home, which is crazy, but I'm also feeling crazy vulnerable here because we're not in a military town anymore. We're in the town where my husband grew up, which we've been visiting for like as long as we've been married, which is 12, 13 years, and then some. But like, I have to find a new doctor, an OBGYN. I have to find someone to do my brows. Like I haven't. And so it's like, I feel like I should pull this down a little bit lower. It's a little bit embarrassing. I need to find someone here who can do my brows. Like all the things that we do when we PCS, only this time, everyone's like, oh, you don't sound like you're from here. Where are you from? Why are you here? So not only that, but of course we moved here when the Delta variant was like burning through all of Louisiana. So nobody was doing get-togethers for the summer. My kids had their birthdays in August and September. We couldn't have parties for their new classmates to get to know them because no one was getting together. So anybody who's been through a move in the last, 18 months, who's like feeling all these things, like you can't just go to your neighbors and say, hey, who cuts your hair? Who does your brows? Because your neighbors might like not want to see people face to face. So feeling my own little bit of vulnerabilities here, but hats off to the military spouses everywhere. We're all going through it. Back to chatting, to life since May, since everything that's going on. Nicole, you're going into your second Christmas, your second holiday season in your house.
Yeah.
Doing anything differently? Like what are you bringing in? What kind of traditions are you guys bringing in? Tell me.
So you guys, this isn't a tradition I want to start, but we bought a fake tree. We've always had a real tree, always. Ever since I was a wee little babe, I've had a real tree. It's the experience of getting the tree. It's the experience if you're able to go cut it down, bring it, set it up. But this year we just, because we're going to be out a little bit visiting family and stuff, that we decided to get a fake tree. We put it up on Halloween night. So I was feeling really festive and thought, you know what? It's never too early to celebrate, anything. Like, why not? So our kids were super excited. I said, what if we did this? And they're like, absolutely yes. So we set up our tree. It's been up. So I guess maybe a new tradition would be starting to decorate even earlier than expected. And I know some people are like, you cannot decorate before Thanksgiving. But we totally did. And I feel really good about it. What about you guys?
We put up our tree earlier than I told anybody. I wouldn't admit it because every time I like texted my mom or my sister, I was like, I'm putting up our tree. They're like, no, it's too early. But the kids had off for Veterans Day this year and we put it up that day. We were just so excited to decorate in our new house. It's one of those things where we built. So for the last year, up until we moved in July, we were like imagining like, oh, we're going to do this amazing mantle so we can put stockings on it. We're going to have this big window. We're going to put a tree in front of it. So like, I got a new tree on Wayfair last year after Christmas when it was super cheap. It's a 12-foot tree. We put it up on Veterans Day. We decorated it the following weekend, like just getting up took hours. So we were super excited about that. But I have my little Santa guy here next to me. So I want to talk about like festive traditions from around the world, places we've been stationed. It doesn't even have to be outside of the US, but like my husband and I met in Okinawa. My USO job took me to Okinawa and I met him while he was stationed there at Tori Station. Shout out to the first Special Forces group. But I got this little Santa Claus on Okinawa. He's wearing like traditional Okinawan print. And they sold this at the thrift shop on Camp Foster. And they would have Santas from around the world. And you could go get a Santa from like any country. And the spouses would line up, and I suppose the active duty folks as well, they were typically working, but like I literally skipped work to go stand in line at the thrift shop on base, and they unveiled Santas from around the world. And I was so excited to get my little Okinawa Santa. So he's my favorite, and he comes to every house, and I'm so happy to have him here with us this year. So Nicole, do you have something like a favorite from when you guys have lived somewhere?
I do. So I brought a little ornament that we bought in Stockholm. We were stationed in Germany and we went to a lot of different little Christmas markets in Europe and loved it. And one Thanksgiving, actually, we went to Stockholm with some friends for Friendsgiving and they had their little Christmas market up. And I just saw these two little gnomes hanging on this little ornament and thought, like my husband and I. So it's just really sweet. Every time we hang it on our tree, it reminds me of our trips to just wherever, all over Europe during the holiday season. And I really liked being in Europe during the holiday season. I don't know how it was in Japan, but it was really more about just the community and being outside and spending time with friends and family and not so much commercialized and about, the big presents and stuff like that. So it was a nice change of pace to just be like, this is all about just being together and building friendships with your friends that were there and really enjoying time spent with family. So what was it like in Japan? Because I've never been there.
So Okinawa is like a tropical island. So our Christmas, we didn't get snow. Like we would sometimes go walk on the beach. Like it would get cooler, but I'm saying like 60s and 70s and usually sunny. So it was really beautiful, but it was sometimes hard to get into the season. So we would go overboard decorating. Again, we would buy Santa from around the world. But we were lucky enough to be also stationed in Stuttgart for a couple of years and Christmas markets. I saw somebody say the Christmas markets are all canceled this year. And that just breaks my heart because we used to love taking our kids there and just strolling through the Christmas markets, looking at the lights and the decorations and drinking the Glühwein, of course. And it was just such a feeling, a mood. And I'm so sad that those aren't happening right now.
I know.
We didn't have anything like that in Japan, but definitely Germany brought the magic at Christmas time.
Yeah. Well, and then with I always thought that the Christmas markets were always a great place to buy presents for friends and family around the world. But for this year, since we're not in Europe, I know some of you are, so I'm sure you'll be able to find some sort of fun trinket over there, even though the Christmas markets are canceled. But Liz, what are you buying right now? Like what kind of holiday shopper are you? Are you done? Have you even started? Where are you at?
So I get spooked every time FedEx is like, you got to order your stuff now because
Yes.
it's going to take 3 months to get to where it's going. So I started early. I'm like, I can't procrastinate the Christmas shopping, the holiday shopping. I definitely did some Black Friday shopping. Actually, my kids are 9 and 7. And my 9-year-old said she wanted to go Christmas shopping on Black Friday this year, which is weird because she hates shopping, but she wanted to go to Hobby Lobby. She wanted to get decorations. So that's what we did on Black Friday. When everyone else was at the mall buying like clothes and electronics, we were at Hobby Lobby and there was no one there. It was amazing. So, but anyway, I've done most of the shopping for my kids. I told them Santa needed a Christmas list early this year because it was hard to get elves up to the North Pole. So I had their lists in like September, which was fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm almost done. I just have a few left to get for my siblings. How about you, Nicole?
Yeah, so it's really fun that you said you went to Hobby Lobby because I like to take my son, he's 4 years old. We go to the dollar store and I'm basically like, we're going to decorate however you want. You pick out all the decorations. Let's do it. And we did the same thing for Halloween. And it's just really funny to see him like, we need that. We need that. I want to get that for my baby sister. I want to get that for my grandma. So it's really cute to see his little wheel spinning. And then we go home and we wrap the little presents that he bought for everybody and then decorate the house. So our house is definitely decorated with some of our stuff, but also thank you to the dollar store out there for decorating our house too. So it's just really cute to see that kind of stuff hanging throughout the house. But I pretty much have a lot of our shopping done as well. For the kids, they're just so simple. And my daughter, who's 2, loves whatever her brother loves. So it's kind of like, I'll just kind of buy for him and let her, play with some of that stuff. And then my husband, we have really been into camping this year as well. Like that's been a big part of our life this year. So I feel like he's easy to buy for, but he also likes to fish. I know nothing about fishing. I like to fish, but my form of fishing is I'll put the worm on or whatever, and I'll throw it out there. I'll reel it in. And then I need someone to take said fish off if I caught one. Because it's not that it's, I think it's gross or whatever. It's that I'm afraid the fish is going to bite me. Is that weird? I don't know.
Totally normal.
You don't know. Yeah.
Michelle says me too.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. Because yeah, I am, or maybe if I had like gloves on or something like that, didn't know we'd be talking about fishing in this conversation, but here we are, celebrating. And I also wanted to say happy Hanukkah to our friends who are celebrating Hanukkah right now. I know you've been celebrating this week, so cheers to you guys as well.
Yes. I'm laughing because Nicole, you're talking about shopping for your husband and he likes to fish. So I asked my husband like a month ago, what do you want for Christmas? And usually it's like nothing. If I need something, I'll buy it. Like he's the hardest person to shop for because he'll spontaneously think of something, he'll order it, and then I have nothing left to buy for him. But he said, I want some binoculars. My husband's really into hunting. He's a Louisiana boy. So I went out on Black Friday and got him some binoculars. But I had said to him, like, give me brand names, give me the strength. Like, I don't know anything about hunting binoculars. So he had given me a brand. He gave me a strength. I went and found it. So this morning, totally off the cuff, this is not in our script, Nicole, but this morning he says to me, did you get me a Christmas present yet? And I was like, yeah. What kind of wife do you think I am?
Right.
He goes, is it a leaf blower?
What?
Where did that come from? No.
Did we talk about this? No.
Blower. We have a leaf blower. He goes, yeah, but it's battery powered. And I go through 2 batteries just doing the backyard. I'm like, okay. So I would love to know, you guys in the chat box, has anybody ever bought their husband a leaf blower? And if you have, throw me some ideas. Because whose husband asks for a leaf blower?
Like, you know what? It's so funny you say that though, because I was using our leaf blower a couple weeks ago and I was like, I hate this thing. It is like not good. We bought it at an estate sale for like super cheap. So it was used. And now I think it's time for it to go on its way. So I might be in the market for a leaf blower as well. So anybody, we need some help on the leaf blower. Yeah. We might have lots of husbands or wives receiving leaf blowers this holiday season, and that's okay. They're
gonna love it. I think our spouses love like outdoor, what do you call them? Not appliances. They're like just toys, right?
Yeah. Outdoor well, toys. And then so for the holidays, do you guys, I know we were talking about like decorating and stuff like that. Do you have and we talked about the traditions of decorating. Well, at least for me now, Halloween. Do you guys do any other traditions like this month or into the new year as a family?
Well, we do Christmas cards. Like
Yeah.
my kids and my husband know every year I'm going to ask them to put on nice clothes for an hour and pose for a picture so that we can try to get it. My husband always cringes though. He says, please don't make me do the matching white shirts on the beach, which I think is adorable because I'm a beach person, but he doesn't want to do the matching stuff. So we always do a Christmas card. I try to do it before Thanksgiving so that I can have them out early, especially every time we move, because people are like, hey, I need your new address again. So I try to be the first one who gets the Christmas card out. We do the elf on the shelf, and our elf just showed up yesterday. And honestly, I have to tell you, I was not into it this year. The other night, my husband said, we got to get the elf out. I said, can't we just wait a week? And bless his heart, he looked at me and he said, we're not going to do this forever, right? Like, let's enjoy this while our kids are doing it. They live for it. So we're doing the elf on the shelf. Are you guys doing that, Nicole?
So we do elf on the shelf, but like, I've tried to be like, oh my gosh, look what that elf is doing. And they're like, what, why? Like, so they don't understand. And I've tried everything to do. I want it to like be a thing. And they like, even yesterday I handed them the elf because they're like, well, let me see it. And they just like looked at him and threw him down. I'm like, you can't do that to the elf. Like
so you're not supposed to touch the elf.
Oh, you're not? So I didn't read that. I didn't get that memo.
So there's a movie. No. There's an Elf on the Shelf movie. It's like 20 minutes long. Your kids have to watch it and it like explains the whole thing. I don't know if both of your kids will quite grasp it, but I think the older one will. But it talks about like if you touch it, it loses its magic.
That's why. We ruined it. But you were talking about Christmas cards too, because it's really funny. And it's funny, and I want to see in the chat box too how you all handle this, but it's like it's around this time, around Thanksgiving up into the next couple of weeks, people are texting you like crazy, like, hey, what's your address? Hey, what's your address? Hey, have you moved? Where are you? Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, I know you're in Germany, so you should really check out this event. And I was like, we haven't been in Germany in about 8 years. So I was like, we've been here, and here since then, but thanks for reaching out. So it's just funny. The whole, we're always telling people what our addresses are, but Liz and I were talking about this a couple days ago, that our holiday card list basically was created from our wedding invite list because you needed everybody's names, addresses, and everything like that, but that the list just continues to grow. So this year I ordered, I don't know, like 100 Christmas cards. And then I started doing the names and everything like that. And I was like, we need more. We need more cards. So it's tough because I feel like since we're not stagnant, our community continues to grow and we just keep adding more people to our list, which is really fun. But it's just, I don't know. What do you do, Liz, in that situation?
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Ours started as our wedding list. And it's funny because there's people from my husband's side of the family who aren't family, but they're like people that his parents knew him growing up that were invited to our wedding. And even though they didn't come, they probably sent us well wishes or something. So we've kept them on the list. So there are literally people on the list that I've never met before. But then same as you, we had a very small wedding. It was like 100 people, but I had to order 140 cards this year. I think I've shipped out 132. So I've only got a couple left. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I was actually putting stamps on them the other night at my daughter's gymnastics. Like they had a little waiting area for the parents. And I'm just going through stamping everything during gymnastics. And this man comes up, he goes, I never see people sending letters anymore. And here you are with your pile of Christmas cards. A lot of people. I said, we've lived a lot of places. He didn't even miss a beat. He goes, military family.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I love sending Christmas cards and I love receiving Christmas cards. And I actually put a note in my calendar for next year, like around Thanksgiving, to put order more than 100 Christmas cards because, we definitely need to order more. So, and I just love to turn on the music and a little Michael Bublé Christmas or Josh Groban or something like that. And just do the Christmas cards. It's just one of those, it puts me in my happy place. So I think Kristen said you're at 200 like on your list. Yeah, Kristen said she's at 200 now. That is impressive. I love it. And it's getting expensive too, but it's like, we do it once a year. I want to send the card. It's so fun. So
I see a lot of people talking about advent calendars
Mhm.
too. We've got like a reusable, like a Velcro advent calendar. So it's not the fun kind where you open them up. Nicole, do you guys have any that you like open up? Do the kids get chocolates or anything?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you're asking about this because we kind of I've always loved advent calendars, loved them. So this year, for some reason, like everybody in the household gets an advent calendar. My advent calendar, and don't judge you guys, it's a wine calendar. So every day you open it up and it's a little half bottle of wine. And it's just, I mean, I'm not going to be able to keep up at all. But it's just fun to be like, oh, where's this from? And it's just it's wonderful. And then my husband has a chocolate one. We got a really cute little storybook one, like little Disney princess storybook for our little 2-year-old. And then our son has a Paw Patrol one that he is so excited every morning. He's like, can I open a door? Can I open a door? So it's just really fun. It just makes the entire month really fun and really exciting for us. So yeah, we are into advent calendars.
I
So
think it just makes it so fun when the kids wake up in the morning. The first thing they want to do is look for the elf. And the second thing they want to do is move up the calendar for the on the advent calendar. Like we have little Velcro things that we stick onto like a manger scene. Oh,
yep.
now we have a countdown to Christmas that we found at Hobby Lobby on Black Friday. So
Yeah.
my 9-year-old flips the number every day to count down till Christmas. We're at 22 days.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Christmas.
crazy. Yeah, it's just a fun way to continue celebrating. And then I know some of our friends in Europe, I don't know, and we'll check out the chat box, and then they bring it over to the States. And some people in the States even do it. Is St. Nicholas Day, I believe, where and somebody's gonna have to tell me if I'm right. Yeah, I was gonna say St. Nicholas. Nicole's mentioning it right now. And Nicole, you might want to put this in the chat if I get it wrong. But basically, I believe it's on December 6th. And it's when you can put a little some little trinkets and like shoes or something like that outside your kids' doors. Like, I mean, it's even like oranges or something like that. And then they come out and it's just something that they did in Europe. So yeah, candies and fruits, Michelle said. So, oh, St. Nicholas on December 19th. So I don't know. I mean, it's in December sometime, but just another fun little tradition that people do. So
I love it. And again, we're talking so much about Christmas because that's what Nicole and I celebrate. We're not Hanukkah celebrators, but if there's anyone in the chat, we'd love to learn more about how you guys are celebrating Hanukkah this year. I know it's 8 days, 8 nights. Tell us more about how you celebrate that because we just don't have a whole lot of experience with that.
yeah,
We'll
and then
come back
I'm
to it.
also curious as to for like stocking stuffers. Do you do stocking stuffers? And yeah, what do you usually put in them?
Candy. We do a
Yeah,
lot of candy. My mom has always been big on stocking stuffers. Like that was just a thing, but she'd put in like travel toothpaste, travel size things for us always growing up. I do a lot of candy.
yeah.
Honestly, my kids need new underwear this year. So I'm going to put some underwear in there and maybe a pair of pajamas for each of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
there'll be little things.
yeah.
It's
Well, the
not
same
as big a
thing.
deal.
We do just little trinkets and stuff like that, but it's always one of my most favorite things to open up. Like I love opening up my stocking, and same, my mom was really creative with putting some fun stuff in our stockings, and she still gives us stockings. It's so fun. So she spoils us rotten, but yeah, the stocking is always fun to just put stuff in there. I'm not doing candy because these little children got so much Halloween candy that I'm like, we cannot continue to give you candy. And then one day, a couple days ago, I opened the trash to throw something away, and my husband like threw away 75% of the candy. And I looked down and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Seeing all the chocolate in the trash, like I'm like, do I cry or do I say thank you? Like I don't know, but I still am kind of a little bitter about it because now I get those, cravings like I want some chocolate. And I'm like, it's not here anymore. So
I saw a really cool blog about what to do with your extra Halloween candy. And my
yeah,
favorite idea in that was use it to decorate your gingerbread houses. So I specifically told my husband, we can't throw away any of the Halloween candy this year because we have to use it for the one gingerbread house we're going to do, which might have to be this weekend because my kids are going to eat all of it.
yeah, so smart.
Use it. But you can
Brilliant.
also put the Halloween candy in the stockings, right?
I mean, we could have, but not
Oh,
anymore.
no,
It's
no,
gone.
don't fish it out of the trash.
No, I know I was about to. I mean, that would have been the low part of my life, but it's no, I mean, it's chocolate. Who does
I
that?
think you can freeze it too, though, right? As long as it's wrapped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Freeze it.
I mean, I think that we're gonna have to sit down and talk about this and say next year you cannot do that. Like Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Oh my goodness.
Give him one of
Okay.
your
So
Advent calendar wines,
I
soften him up a
know.
little bit. Ooh, donate it to local parade like the Boy Scouts. That's a great idea because I feel
Yeah.
like parades are happening again this year, which is awesome.
And when we lived in Germany and I was at the USO Center there, a lot of people brought in their candy to the USO Center to give it to the service members and family members that came in there. So that's always a thought too, just to make sure it's okay first, and then donating it there as well. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I'm curious if anybody, yes, you can freeze chocolate.
Oh
You
yeah,
can freeze it as long as it's wrapped up tight, for
yeah.
sure. Does anybody on here have a deployed spouse? And you don't have to say where they're deployed to or whatever, but if you're sending them a holiday care package this year, what kinds of things are you putting in that? Like, do you send cookies? Do you send chocolate, sweets, a stocking? I would love to know. My husband was deployed over the holidays a couple times, but I don't think we sent like Christmas cookies because number one, I'm not that prepared to like send stuff that far in advance. We make our Christmas cookies like the day before Christmas, but we'd send him like a little decoration for his room, things like that. Nicole, did you guys ever send stuff at the holidays?
My husband wasn't deployed over the holidays. It was more of a summer deployment. So I sent him all kinds of random stuff that definitely wasn't stocking stuffer size. Like we might have talked about this before, but I sent him like a putting green and a putter once because I was like, you need this in your life. And he was like, I have no room where we are to store this. And I was like, I don't know what you should. So this is actually a great conversation because it's like, what can you send? What should you not send? And stuff like that. Yeah. It's, let's see here. We have sent stockings for all his coworkers. Michelle sent stockings and Christmas hats, cookies. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm originally from Ohio, so my husband always likes to make, because he's the chef and baker in our house, buckeyes. I don't know if a lot of you have heard of those before, but they're peanut butter balls dipped in chocolate. And I always liked to bring those into the offices at the USO when we were in DC, and people were like, what is this peanut butter fudge? And I'm like, wait a second, it's not fudge, it's a buckeye. Don't you know what a buckeye is? But it's so funny that some people I don't know what some of these things are. So I'm also curious in the chat box. Oh, good. Kristen's in Ohio right now. So I hope you get a buckeye, Kristen. But are there any other cookies out there that we're not, that aren't on our radar that we should know about? Like people didn't know about buckeyes. I'm curious. Snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodles.
Definitely. Yes.
Oh,
Now we're
Michelle's
going to get
never heard
hungry.
of Buckeyes. Buckeyes are solely responsible for the freshman 15 that I gained in college. I went to college in Ohio, but I wasn't from there. And my roommate's parents made Buckeyes for us all the time. It's like we always had them in our little room freezer, which was, that big. Yeah, God, they were so good, but I haven't had one in years.
Oh, Nicole's getting her first buckeye. Yes, they are so good. Yes. So excellent.
Anybody who likes peanut butter and chocolate, I mean, it doesn't even have to be Christmas. That's like a year-round thing.
It's so easy. Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can freeze those as well. I don't think you would want to ship those to your deployed service member, but definitely worth making during the holidays. So let's hear holiday movies. I wanted to talk about that because there's so much on right now. Last year, our Coffee Connection Live during this time with our friends at Hallmark, and the podcasters of the Bubbly Sesh, and we talked about holiday movies and all the wonderful things. So Liz, what are you watching holiday movies right now? And if yes, what?
I love holiday movies. I'm a sucker for the Hallmark Channel, especially to go back to our previous discussion. When my husband was deployed, I would watch a Christmas movie or two every night on the Hallmark Channel, like with just a little glass of something. But now that he's here, we do a lot of family movie nights, and my kids are dying to watch Home Alone. I think I must have let them watch it once last year, and I know they're a little bit young for it, but I love Home Alone. I mean, who doesn't love that movie? And honestly, I feel like a whole new generation of people are watching Home Alone now because they're realizing that the mom from Home Alone is the mom from Schitt's Creek. And it's like everything is coming full circle in life because we love her, right? Catherine O'Hara, she's amazing. So for us, it's Home Alone. That's like one of my favorite Christmas movies. Do you guys have a favorite, Nicole?
Well, on Home Alone, it's the music, like the music that they play, like in the scene where he's walking into the cathedral and like the little choir singing that like song. I feel like that's just such a holiday song that just is like, oh, it's the holidays, So I just love the music in Home Alone. So yes, that is a really good one. And I need to add that to my list because I haven't seen it in so long. But I mean, always the classics, The Holiday, Elf, or what we will definitely be watching. We don't have the Hallmark channel, so I've been watching a lot of Netflix stuff. So anything that's on the Netflix channel that is holiday related, I've watched. So I'm trying to like think if they're coming up with anything new. I love the Great British Bake Off, the the seasons that's happening right now. It's so good. So I highly recommend that if you guys haven't checked that out yet. But yeah, all things holiday. It just puts you in the holiday spirit for sure.
I love what everybody's putting in the chat box. Somebody reminded me of Love Actually. Yes to that movie. Amazing. And then all of the Santa Claus movies. We watched the first Santa Claus with my kids last year and they loved it. And I was like, that is a really fun movie. That's a good one. It's like good, classic, wholesome family fun.
One of our friends just told us that we need to watch Jim Carrey's The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I have not watched that. Have you?
I remember seeing it when it came out back in the day, and he was kind of creepy because that was one of the first like live versions of a cartoon. It's good. It's worth seeing. Good music. Again, I think Faith Hill did like the theme song to that movie. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. I'll check it out. I don't know. It was one of those like, do we watch it now? Is it probably save it for later? We'll see. So for sure. I'm seeing somebody watched, Lauren watched A Boy Called Christmas. Ooh. We'll have to know it. Oh, and Michelle agreed to that. So we'll definitely have to check that out. I love it. So good. Well, let's talk about wins of 2021. And Liz, do you have any big wins besides moving into your house and just, that's super exciting? What other wins do you have for 2021?
Yeah, definitely personal win for 2021 was the move, the shift from active duty military life to retired military life, moving into the new house, starting a new school, all the things. But I have to say, because we're on Coffee Connection Live, and for those of you who don't know, we have a program called Coffee Connections where you go in person to a USO center or a neutral place around a USO center and you have coffee with other military spouses. It's very much like this. We love it. It's a program we're so proud of that Nicole created about 5 years ago. And this year, in spite of all the craziness and the pandemic and the closures and the openings and everything being up and down, Coffee Connections was huge. And we continued to host it both in person and virtually. And we love surveys. We love to hear from the military spouses who are attending. We love to know what they think. If they have criticisms, we take that to heart and we make changes as needed. But we recently got a survey coming back from somebody who attended Coffee Connections. I believe she was overseas, and she said, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. Coffee Connections is what the doctor ordered. She said it just filled her heart to come together and make new connections and make new friends with other military spouses in her community. And to me, that's a huge win. It's a goosebumps moment every time we talk about it, because the whole purpose of everything that we do on the military spouse team is to connect military spouses to one another. So my biggest win is just seeing the positive feedback that has come back about Coffee Connections, because we know we're making a difference. Nicole, tell me about some of your wins.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. It just warms my heart. And I love just what the doctor ordered. Sometimes it's just like, that's exactly what it is. So good. Okay. So personal win, I would say this year, I really was able to focus on me and like self-care and kind of realize like, let's check in and how can I give myself daily affirmations and say, you know what, you're doing an awesome job, Nicole. Like, and that's okay. So I actually downloaded an app where every day or every other hour or so, I get this like affirmation on my iWatch, and it's probably going to give me one here any minute saying, you're doing great, you're awesome, like things like that. But it's so fun to be like, oh yeah, or it's going to be like, today's going to be an awesome day, like rock it, and things like that just really get me excited. But also, and it's fun because we actually partnered with Peloton this year, the USO, and we're going to work with them into next year as well. But I got the Peloton app, and this is not an ad. This is just me saying I got the Peloton app, and it's one of those things where I've been able to fully dedicate myself and my time to working out more this year and focusing on me. And so I think that's a huge win overall. I saw one of our friends here in the chat. She said that just by eating, I want to actually scroll up and call this out. Some of these have been so good. Let's see here. Look, we have Michelle said she signed up for college. Kristen said she lost 15 inches from working out and eating better. Like, that's awesome. And then Lauren Fingman said giving birth to twin girls after struggling with infertility. I mean, hugs to you, Lauren. We know so many people have been struggling with that. And just that's awesome. Twins, are you getting any rest? Is the next question. Are you? Woo, so crazy. I want to keep going. So we have Wendy. Let's see here. Wendy's saying prioritizing myself after years of putting everyone else's needs first. I love it. Yes, like this is so important to focus on you. Karina giving birth to a healthy baby girl. That's fantastic. Nicole, let's see here. We have safely moved with 6 kids back to the States from Italy, bought a house from another country, got 4 of my kids back to school in person, and found a new favorite cafe. I mean, Nicole.
Yeah. Cheers to that, Nicole.
Cheers.
You're a rock star.
Fantastic. Yes.
Wow.
And Nicole's actually been joining us on one of our other fun programs that we kicked off this year. Liz, do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Because that is definitely a win.
That is a win. We sort of piloted a program earlier this year called In the Kitchen with Chef Joel Gamron. And we just thought, we all love to cook, or we all at least need to cook or eat. And why not learn to cook from a celebrity chef? So we started In the Kitchen with Chef Joel. We did 4 episodes this year, once per quarter. And we kind of get on like this, except everyone who's joining can be on camera if they want to. We're all in our kitchens, and we have celebrity chef Joel Gamron. He's been on the Today Show for about 10 years. Look him up if you don't know who he is. He walks us through a super easy recipe that is healthy. It's not a whole lot of recipes. It's usually 5 items that you get from a store plus whatever you have in your pantry, salt and pepper and oil and things like that. But it's a really fun hour. I encourage you all to look for it. USO.org/MVP. We've got the recordings of some of the older episodes that we've done. But in 2022, we're actually going to do 6 episodes with Chef Joel. We're gonna find lots more recipes and things to focus on to help bring more cooking goodness to military spouses around the world. And yes, Nicole has joined us for that several times, and we encourage you all to join us. It's super fun. Look, none of us are professional chefs, but we're being led by one, and it's a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. And as I mentioned, I am not the chef or the cook or the baker in our house. So this is so helpful for me to cook along with all my friends and just have fun. And I participated in the Friendsgiving that we just did a couple weeks ago, and it was really good. And my husband came home and he had some of it and was like, Nicole, good job. So it's a lot of fun, and we look forward to working with Chef Joel next year. Another fun thing that we're able to do this year, since we're able to do a little bit more of in-person events, was bring back our military spouse networking events. And that's basically a program where military spouses are able to come into a center, a USO center or location, and speed network with each other. And then also bring in some community leaders that can help them with employment or just finding some resources or getting them connected in the community. But created that program really just because it's a way for military spouses who don't know anyone to walk into a room, and it's like speed dating, but you're speed friending, and you're just making so many new friends. And then you walk out like an hour or 2 later, and you have all these new contacts. So I joke about this every single time we talk about trying to find friends, but you don't have to stalk people at the commissary anymore. You can just simply say, hi, I'm Nicole. I'm, super excited to meet you. I like to do this, and we should be friends. And so we're bringing that back. And hopefully you'll see a little bit more of that in 2022 as well. So.
Yeah, that's a super fun event. I got to see it for the first time in person this year after everything sort of shut down or went virtual last year. I was so happy to see that. At Fort Campbell, we held one this year, and I think we're going to have one in Hawaii coming up very soon.
Today.
If anybody's in Hawaii, it's happening today.
Go now.
I wish we could all go to that.
Right. Let's all decide to do a team meeting or a group gathering in Hawaii next year, and we'll figure that out some way or another. Social media, I think that's a win. and you know, there's a spin of that, like, wait, social media, what? But we have a Facebook page that I hope you all are, a Facebook group that you all are a part of. But we've been growing that, and we've been having so much fun in there with all of the different and creative ways to get everybody connected. Liz has been spearheading that with Trish, who's also producing this right now. She's the one that's the elf giving away all the prizes. So that's been a ton of fun. And hopefully you guys in the next year will see us on Instagram. So
Yes.
more to come.
Yes. One thing we love about our Facebook group, it's a private group. So for those of you who haven't joined it, it's safe. It's not like a public group that anyone can join. And in fact, Trish, who's in the chat box, Trish and I and another of our teammates, we monitor every single person who wants to join that group. And they have to tell us what branch of service, where they're located, and what they want to achieve by joining the group, or what they're looking for from the group. So it's not like we run an ID.me check or anything, but we're the gatekeepers to make sure the only people who join are military spouses. But then within that group, we're not just sharing USO events. We've got some conversation starters, and we share some helpful tips, or if we see an event that another organization's putting on, we'll share about it in there. But you know, we've got a weekly question. There's always a Saturday morning coffee connection, and sometimes it has nothing to do with military life, because let's be honest, we're all living and breathing military life 24/7. So if we can just go on social media for a few minutes and get a little break from that to talk about what music are you dancing to as you cook your eggs this morning? Like, we're going to do that. And we're going to provide that for you. So like Nicole said, we are hoping, fingers crossed, to branch out into Instagram in early 2022. Big USO has given us the green light to start it. So we just have to work on curating some content, some pictures, and coming up with a plan for that. So stay tuned. We will let all of you know first, most likely via email, or you'll see it on Facebook. But there's a USO Mil Spouse Instagram account coming.
It's happening. It's so exciting. Another exciting thing is that this year, the first Coffee Connection live that we kicked off for 2021 was with our friend David Carrera, who is a male military spouse. And that was one of our initiatives this year, was to reach out to more male military spouses, because it's more than 10% out there are male military spouses. So we are super excited to say that we know that about 11% of our audience, our audience that we speak to every day, or in social media, or in our emails that go out, 11% are male military spouses. So really excited about that, and just trying to make sure that any male military spouses out there, you know that you are welcome at any of our events and Coffee Connection lives. I mean, all of the things that we're doing, we want you to come and join alongside us. And give us the tips on the fishing thing too, because I need some more tips on fishing for sure, you know?
And leaf blowers
and leaf
binoculars.
blowers. Yes, and binoculars. Like, there's a strength side. I didn't know you had.
Oh yeah. All right, now I have to stop and acknowledge what's happening in the chat box.
Yes.
Right? Somebody asked, is there a way to buy USO merchandise that supports the USO? No, not right now. We are asking, and we're hoping that, again, coming in 2022, we're hoping that they're going to do a storefront. For those of you who don't know, the USO is a nonprofit organization, and we just sometimes don't have the resources needed to set up a storefront. So we've heard from our development and our marketing teams that they're working on it. Hopefully you can get some of this stuff in.
As we're talking about going into 2022, and it's crazy, you guys, how much feedback that we're able to see from all of the military spouses around the world, what you're saying, what you're hearing. We see you, we are trying to do our best to create programs and events and conversations like this, just to get us all connected and just make friendships and connections, like we said. But Liz, what trends have you seen in 2021, and then leading into 2022? What can we do to better serve our friends here?
Yeah, it's crazy. It feels like just not that long ago, we were sitting doing our January and our February Coffee Connection lives. And here we are in December, and we can look back on an entire year. So cool. We've seen a lot of feedback. And I think one of the most consistent trends is that the military spouses that are attending our events, they love the wellness aspect. In February, we spoke with the Mindfulness Movement, which is a documentary, and we heard all about mindfulness, and that kind of kicked it off. In March, we talked about reproductive health and infertility struggles. struggles with Samantha Bush, whose husband is a NASCAR driver, and she's very well known for having struggled with that publicly. So we've been talking about a lot of things that are wellness related, and it seems like you guys are loving it. So going into 2022, we're going to do wellness themes every month. Now, not everything we do will be focused on wellness, but you'll see an air of this in everything that we do. We're going to look at physical wellness. We're going to talk about nutritional wellness, emotional wellness, organizational wellness, like having a clean house, how that's really good for you on the inside. And you can accomplish anything if your playroom is clean. Guilty of that. Yeah. So look for that in 2022 and let us know in the chat box if there's certain wellness themes that you want to see us focus on. We've got our list, and hopefully it's a big umbrella that's going to cover a lot of, financial wellness, recreational wellness, putting down the devices and getting outside and just doing something that's really good for yourselves and for your families as well. So that's one of the trends from this year that we're really excited to be carrying into 2022 that we hope you'll all look for.
And another hot topic, another trend, and I feel like this has always been a topic, would be employment. We saw, a lot of military spouses are interested in learning more about employment, or, we pushed out an email a couple weeks ago, letting a lot of the military spouses know in our community that the USO is hiring. And I will just put the website out there. It's uso.org/careers. And there are a lot of opportunities with the USO, but we also have a USO transitions team where there's transition specialists that can work with you on building an action plan to find connections, or try to help you with your resume, or help you find a mentor to get you the career that you're looking for. So definitely check that out. It's USO/transitions for that aspect. And then if you're interested in the mentorship piece, it's USO/mentorship. So check that out. We see you, we hear you, and we know also that y'all are still looking, for ways to get connected in your community. So Liz talked about coffee connections, and we also know that some of you don't live close to a USO center, or just can't get out of the house because you have 7 kids. So that's why we're here. We want to just have this time to spend with you and enjoy each other. And so here we are. So we appreciate you all so much for being here with us. This is the best part of our day. So
maybe our week. This might be the best part of the week.
Yes.
We also, I don't know if anybody who's joining today is part of the National Guard community, but one of the things that we realize is that National Guard military spouses, they struggle in addition to the struggles of active duty families, because oftentimes they're not in places where there's a base or a USO or even a military community who understands what they're going through. So next year, we're really going to focus on incorporating the National Guard and Reserve communities into everything that we do. So if anybody on this call is part of that community, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I want to throw our email out there. It's USO Military Spouse @uso.org. As Liz mentioned, we have mobiles out there, and we're planning on doing more pop-up coffee connections. So if you aren't in an area where there is a USO, we could ask our mobile team to support your community and throw a coffee connection just in your community. So we just need to know where, and we can work the logistics of how and when, and we can try to make it out to your community in 2022 to support you for sure. So again, USO Military Spouse @uso.org.
Yep. And we're the ones who monitor that email account. So you're going to get one of the two of us or Trish who answers that email. So it's kind of a small community as far as who's working for the USO Mil Spouse team, but you're looking at them and hearing from Trish in the chat box. So we are just about at the top of the hour. I don't even know how that happened. Nicole, let's talk about goals for 2022, just to cap off this hour. This has been amazing. I don't know if we even need to call them resolutions, because that sort of that has a connotation of you're going to give it up after a few weeks. So what are some of your goals for 2022?
Thank you for asking. I thought you'd never ask. No, it's one of those things where I kind of like to lean in on a word for the year. So last year, and even for 2020, I feel like the word that I kind of leaned in on was grace. Just, grace. Give people grace, give yourself grace, all the grace. So I think that since I'm a lot better on self-care and trying to focus on me, next year, 2022, I think my word's going to be gratitude and just being thankful and living in the moment and being appreciative for everything that we have, and really just, yeah, just being. So that's what I'm going to work on. And then also, some more vulnerabilities of myself, if that's even a word, but I'm going to just say it, you guys can just go with it, but just trying to continue to build my network. We're going to be putting ourselves in another situation where I have to get uncomfortable in a completely different community again. So making sure that it's like, okay, Nicole, it's okay. Go out there, put yourself out there, make some friends. You'll be better after you do that. Like it's okay to do that and get uncomfortable. So what about you, Liz?
I've never been a person who really does a word of the year. I love
Yeah.
that notion, but I find that I never stop and take the time to be in the moment to figure out what my word should be. But
Yep.
when you said that, something popped into my mind. And then I saw Lauren typed it into the chat box at the same moment it came to me, which is to be present. So
Yes.
I think for
Yes.
2022, my word and my goal will be to be more present, more in the moment, because we've talked about our kids this whole time. My kids are always like, Mom, can you do this? Mom, can you do that with me? Can you come play with me? Can you do this and that? And I'm always like, later,
Mhm.
later. But pretty soon they're not going to want to hang out with us anymore. They're not going to want us in the playroom with them. I know I might start crying at this thought. I am going to be more present, and it's being recorded today. So I can come back and look at this in a
Yes.
year and say, did I do it? I want to be more present. I want
Yeah.
to live in the moment, whether it's with my husband, with my kids, or my extended family members, but also I'm in this new town and I need to make some friends. So I'm going to be present here in my local community and I'm going to make some new friends.
I love it. And we're going to check back in with each other and all of you, and to see where we're all at, and just to hold each other accountable and know that, we have each other's backs. We're here for each other. And it's going to be an amazing year for sure. 2022. And as Liz mentioned in one of our calls a couple days ago, you guys, February 2nd, or no, February 22nd, 2022. It's 2/22/22. I mean, there's something there. It's
We're going to make it amazing. And it's a
right.
Tuesday, I think.
Is it two
I
two
think so.
two 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 on a Tuesday? You too can get involved. We'll figure it out. More to come.
Check out our Facebook page for more when we figure out what we're going to do.
Right.
Yes. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. We love that you're part of this community, and we love that you come back time and again to spend some time with us. So thank you for everything in 2021. Here's a cheers to making 2022 the best year yet. Come back and see us often. Check out our Facebook group. Check out uso.org/MVP for all of our upcoming events. We wish you all the happiest of holidays, however you celebrate them and wherever you are. Have a wonderful day and happy holidays, guys.
Bye, everybody.